Hello and welcome to Waterloo, Iowa. Behind me are two airplanes that were key to the Allied victory in World War II. The B-24 Liberator, one of the last of its kind, and the B-17 bomber. Today, we're going to be flying in these airplanes with their crew from Waterloo, Iowa to LaCrosse, Wisconsin. So join us for all this and more. I'm Bothan at Large. It was 1943. The full weight of the Allied air war was being brought to bear on Germany. The U.S. built thousands of bombers, B-17s and B-24 Liberators to deliver their deadly cargo.
Bombs away.
But now, there are only a handful of these birds left. Most sit idle in museums collecting dust. This B-24 is one of only two that can still fly. It was dug out of the jungles of India, where it was abandoned after the war and left to rot. Air Corps veteran Bill Worth is glad it didn't.
Fantastic memories. Sometimes when you see it like flying over yesterday, you almost cry. It's such a feeling about it, you know. Yeah. It's a real airplane, and I'm glad for this day to be able to go through it again, see it, and I saw it land yesterday. That was fantastic, and it's something that I suppose only veterans that flew it will ever know. I don't know.
Phil Haskell is a crew member on the B-24 and gets to spend a lot of time flying it around the country, but he spent much more time on the ground helping to put it back together.
But it was, it would have been a job of almost impossible means, but after 97,000 man-hours, $1.5 million, plus many thousand hours of volunteer help, this is what you see, and this is what we have now.
It almost looks mean now, but it's in mint condition, and so is the B-17. But despite its combat colors and insignia, it did not go through combat like the B-24, nor was it abandoned in the jungle. This B-17 escaped the fate of war, and instead of being cut up in the junkyards of the desert like thousands of others, this one waged war and forest fires as a water bomber until it too was restored as B-17G 909. It brings back a lot of memories for the men who flew them into battle.
I think this was probably about the time that I got there. As I say, I flew my first mission in April, and I think in about May of 1943, Walter Cronkite flew a mission with our bomb group. And later on, Clark Gable flew, I think, one or two missions with our bomb group to get some footage of actual fighter attacks by German Luftwaffe aircraft.
There is a sense of mystery and intrigue when surveying these aging mechanical behemoths of the air. No computers here to guide the guns or drop the bombs. On these birds, all life and death decisions were made by man, a crew of 10. The design of the B-17 goes back to the early 1930s. They first flew in 1935 and were modified as needed during the war. These two planes are now owned and operated by the Collins Foundation of Stowe, Massachusetts.
Well, we kind of say it's like we take the planes to the people instead of the people coming to the planes. If we took these two aircraft and put them in a museum in Massachusetts where the foundation is, how many people would be able to see these aircraft? By taking the aircraft to the people and touring the country like we do, and allowing people to, well, not just walk around them, but go through them, it gives them a little idea of the history of the aircraft, and they're able to talk to us. A lot of the old crew members come out, and especially the kids just kind of get involved in this whole thing.
The Waterloo exhibit is about over, and it's time to leave. But don't go away. When we return, we'll take you on a true fantasy flight.